ॐ नमो हरिहन्ताणम् ॐ नमो सिंहाणम् ॐ नमो आयर्याणम् ॐ नमो कुवच्छायाणम् ॐ नमो लोहिसर्पसाहुरम् केशो पञ्च नमोकारो सर्वपावकणासनो मङ्गलाणं च सर्वेशी परमं हवै मङ्गलम् ॐ नमो हरिहन्ताणम् ॐ नमो सिंहाणम् ॐ नमो आयर्याणम् ॐ नमो कुवच्छायाणम् ॐ नमो लोहिसर्पसाहुरम् केशो पञ्च नमोकारो सर्वपावकणासनो मङ्गलाणं च सर्वेशी परमं हवै मङ्गलम् परमं हवै मङ्गलम् परमं हवै मङ्गलम् चत्तारि मङ्गलम् चत्तारि मङ्गलम् अरिहन्ता मङ्गलम् अरिहन्ता मङ्गलम् सीता मङ्गलम् सीता मङ्गलम् साहु मङ्गलम् साहु मङ्गलम् केवली पन्नतो धम्मो मङ्गलम् केवली पन्नतो धम्मो मङ्गलम् 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 अरिहन्ता मङ्गलम् चत्तारिनो उत्तमा अरिहन्तानो उत्तमा श्रीतालो उत्तमा साहुलो उत्तमा केवली पन्नतो धम्मो उत्तमो मङ्गलं मङ्गलम् अरिहन्ता मङ्गलम् मङ्गलं मङ्गलम् अरिहन्ता मङ्गलम् चत्तारि शरणं प्रवज्जामि चत्तारि शरणं प्रवज्जामि अरिहन्ते शरणं प्रवज्जामि अरिहन्ते शरणं प्रवज्जामि सीते शरणं प्रवज्जामि सीते शरणं प्रवज्जामि साहु शरणं प्रवज्जामि साहु शरणं प्रवज्जामि केवली अन्नतं धम्मं शरणं प्रगच्छामि मङ्गलं मङ्गलं हरिहन्ता मङ्गलं 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 हरिहन्ता मङ्गलं मङ्गलं हरिहन्ता मङ्गलं 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 हरिहन्ता मङ्गलम्
Jai Jindra, everybody.
Jai Jinendra.
श्री सतपुरुष के वचनामृत
My computer is going nuts today, but we are going to keep it under control. Sorry about that. Sorry for late start. My computer was frozen, so I had to restart and everything. Anyway, so today is July 17, 2020, Friday, and we are back to our pathshala class. So here we are. We have started very, very important journey. We have embarked on a most important journey, that's dhala 3. We learned on dhala 1 and dhala 2. Dhala 1, we knew everybody is suffering in the universe. Every living object except for Siddha Bhagwan and Aryan Bhagwan, they are suffering. And then different kind of sufferings are there. Hell is suffering, heavenly suffering, human suffering, plant and animal kingdom suffering. We saw that. Thereafter, we saw in second dhala that what's the main reason for this suffering. And then we found out that main reason was wrong faith. So now we are starting how to remove that wrong faith. And that's a very important thing we have embarked. This is the most important thing that we wanted to come to this point since we started the pathshala class, basically. Let's put it that way. So we have built up our base, built up our base, built up our base, and now we know some of the basic things. So now whatever we talk, it's going to be a lot more meaningful. And as I said last time to you, I have a courage to talk to you because it's not an ordinary event to talk such type of things to such young kids. But I have the courage because I have seen how strong you all are. And so I'm so proud of you, and that's why we are taking this part. So without further delay, I'll bring my slides and we'll start talking where we are. So last week we talked about so many things. So here, for example, let's see a slideshow from here. Okay. So who am I? That's a question we were asking to us. Am I a father, son, grandfather, grandson, husband, brother, uncle, nephew, whatsoever, etc., 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 etc.? So I have a multifaceted reality within me. I could be seen from my son's perspective, I'm a father. From my father's perspective, I'm son. From my grandchild's perspective, I'm grandfather. From my grandpa's perspective, I'm grandson, and so on and so forth. So the multiple realities are there. Means which viewpoint you are taking. Let's say I'm talking to my son right now. If I'm talking to my son, that means I am considered as a father because he is the son and I'm the father. When I am the father talking to my son, does not mean that I'm not somebody's uncle or I'm not somebody's brother or somebody's husband or whatever. But if I'm talking to my son, then my multifaceted reality, everything becomes secondary, and this guy becomes primary event right now. When I'm talking to my son, doesn't mean I'm not a grandfather, I'm not a grandson, I'm not a husband, brother, uncle, nephew, etc. But I made this point predominant and everybody else secondary. So this word we are going to use a lot: primary, principal, and secondary. So this guy, father, my fatherhood event becomes principal event when I'm talking to my son, and everybody else becomes kind of secondary event. Means that doesn't mean I'm not a son, I'm not a grandpa, I'm not grandson, I'm not husband. Everything is there, but importance is given over here. Let's say I'm sitting in Phoenix and one of you is sitting in New York, for example. So if we are speaking from two different cities perspective, then where am I? I'm in Phoenix. But if I'm talking to somebody in India, where am I? I'm in US. In Phoenix, I'm talking to someone. Then where am I? I'm on North Phoenix. But I'm talking to somebody in North Phoenix, then where am I? I'm on 12th Street. On 12th Street, my neighbor I'm talking to, I'm living in this particular house, 14853. So perspective keeps on changing depending on what priority we are giving to a given thing. So that's one is a deep-seated principle in Jainism. A principal thing and secondary thing. When I'm talking as a father, rest of the things are within me as a secondary because they are not important, so I'm not giving importance to them. When I'm in a temple, I'm being considered as a Jain. So all this event, they become secondary, and my being Jain becomes primary event for that particular moment. So this thing is called principal event. This is called secondary event or subsidiary event. Let's put it that way. Okay. Now that we made it clear, then multiplicity point of view comes in picture, and this is, for example, several years back, one of my colleague in Phoenix, he said he gave one index card, and it says elevator speech. Elevator speech. What is elevator speech? He said, if you're in an elevator and somebody saw that you have yellow dot on your head and you are wearing white clothes, and so he says, who are you? I'm Jain. What is Jainism? You are in the elevator. He goes to 4th floor, you go to 6th floor or whatever. Within the narrow time that you have it, you have to explain what Jainism means. So what can you explain at the time? At that time, I'm going to say that I'm Jain, and Jains believe in 3 important principles. Jain believe in 3 important principles: non-violence, non-possession, and multiplicity point of view. 3 things I'm going to say. That's what Jainism in a nutshell. Or Jainism stands on these 3 greatest pillars: non-violence, multiplicity point of view, and non-possession. So what is multiplicity point of view? If somebody asks, or whether somebody asks or not, at least it should be clear in our mind. What is multiplicity point of view? Anekant, it is called Anekant in Gujarati. So multiplicity point of view means if I say soul is eternal, or I can say soul is transient, wait, are you nuts? Tell me one thing, is soul eternal or soul transient? What is it? So then you are going to say, depends on what perspective. If you're taking from substance perspective, substance was never created, will never die, it remains forever. That means soul is a substance, the soul is eternal. But I'm talking about modal perspective, changing perspective. Then soul is transient. For example, here, let's take one example. I was born, and they say, oh, little boy is born. And then they gave the name Kirit. Then I'm a toddler, Kirit. Then I'm going to the primary school, KG, Kirit. Primary school, Kirit. Middle school, Kirit. High school, Kirit. College, Kirit. Post-graduation, Kirit. Becoming a medical doctor, Kirit. I'm now practicing, Kirit. I'm retired. So Kirit remains constant throughout, and a day comes, oh, who died? Kirit. So Kirit remained constant from birth to death. Similarly, soul remains eternal forever and ever. There is no death or birth or anything. Soul is eternal. This soul was in the lowest form of life, nigod, then become 1 sense, 2 sense, 3 sense, 4 sense, 5 sense, sentient being and human being. All those changes occurring, but soul remains constant. As Kirit remained constant throughout the life, soul remains constant forever. So if I'm talking from soul's perspective, from substance perspective, then soul is eternal. But coming back to the Kirit, toddler, naughty boy, going to primary school, secondary school, college, post-graduation, and whatever, all those changes in the life that we are talking. Working as a doctor, now retired, and now someday they may say he died. So all those things are transient even in a Kirit's life. One day he was called little newborn boy, second day he was called toddler, whatever. So there are changes occurring in Kirit, and that's called transiency. Similarly, in the soul remains eternal, but soul is transient because soul is born as a human, soul is born as a hellish soul is born as a heavenly soul is born as a plant and animal kingdom, soul was present in the lowest form of life. So all these changes, and that changes that we see keeps on going and going and going in circle forever and ever and ever. So this change is occurring, and soul keeps on going in transmigratory cycle again and again. So that means soul is transient. So somebody tells you, who are you? I'm a soul. Are you eternal or transient? Depends what perspective you want me to speak from, right? That's called multiplicity point of view. Yes, go ahead. Question? No, okay. So multiplicity point of view is a one in which if you're using the soul from substance perspective, soul is eternal, and modal perspective, changes perspective, and soul is transient. And these are the things the most primary pillar for Jainism. I'm going to tell you other philosophies now. Hinduism will say soul is eternal only, period, case closed. You don't have to ask anything else. Buddhism will say soul is transient only, nothing else to talk about, that's it. Now you think about it. Can soul be only eternal? If soul is only eternal, then why do I have to worry about it? Why should I worry about it? Because I'm eternal, I'm pure, perfect, period. That's it. I'm the God. But I do see that there are suffering seen, that disparity seen amongst the living being. The lowest living being is a nigod, and then 1 cent, 2 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents, 5 cents. Even in 5 cents, we see so many changes occurring in the living being. Even in the 5 cents human being, some is white, some is brown, some is black, some is yellow, some is rich, some is poor, and some are having disease, some is healthy. So all those things that we see, if soul is eternal and pure, why do I see all the changes then? Then Buddhists will say, hey, we are telling you soul is transient. Well, listen, if the soul is only transient, means every moment a new soul is born and dies and born and dies and born and dies, and that's it. So soul keeps on taking birth and death and birth and death, and that's it. There is nothing like permanency. So then Jains go to them and say, wait a second. If you say soul is only transient, then what happens? Number one, soul committed crime. This guy committed crime over here. This number one, soul committed crime. And now it's been proven that he is guilty. Number 10th time comes and there's a 10th soul is present and he gets punishment. Is it possible? Your neighbor does the crime and you get punishment. Is it possible? So Jain say, listen, you guys don't understand. Soul is eternal, means there forever, but soul can have transiency within. So soul is responsible for its own problem. So soul will suffer and everything. So that's why Jain philosophy of multiplicity point of view, it takes precedence over everybody else in the universe. And that's why it's one of the pillar out of 3 pillars that on which Jainism is standing. This is extremely important to understand. So if I'm going to stop over here for a second. If you have a question, please throw the question right now. I want to make sure you understand it correctly and there is no question remains in the mind. Go ahead. Anybody's question? Yes?
No.
All right. Anybody else? Ishan, Umed, Aditya, everybody?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, all right. Okay, so
Questions?
Yeah, go ahead. So, Aryan, you have a question, brother?
No, no question.
Okay, all right. Okay. So, as long as you understand this point, that the eternity and transiency both reside in the soul at the same time, and that's called multiplicity point of view. Now, I can challenge you right now. You go to the general Jain public and ask them what's a multiplicity point of view definition. 99 out of 100 will falter. They won't give you this answer. And this is the answer from multiplicity point of view. What's the answer? Once again, multiplicity point of view means at a given point, at a given time, in a substance like soul, 2 exact opposite things like eternity and transiency, which are 2 exact opposite characteristics residing together. That's called multiplicity point of view. Most of the time people will say multiplicity point of view means, hey, this is right also, this is right also, this is right also, this is right also, and that's it. That's multiplicity point of view. they are wrong. This is the absolute definition of multiplicity point of view. Truth is one only. And then Jainism says this is the truth. So last week, Vama had raised the question that if something is good in the other religion, they may say something nice also. Something right thing they can say, something auspicious they can say. Could this be right or not right? That was the question that you had it, and we had the tail part of it, we did not discuss. So that was a very, Vama, it was very loaded question you had asked. So what I'm going to answer for that, 1 second, hold it. Oh, Achla had asked the question. Oh, okay. Oh my God, that's good. Okay, Achla had asked the question. Yeah. So let's say that I'm seeing something auspicious somewhere else. Can I consider that as a right thing or not? Remember here, what did I say here? In this big circle over here, we are saying soul is eternal, soul is transient, so it's a multiplicity point of view. And when there is multiplicity point of view, now I am here, for example, multiple personality I have, I just take this one as primary and I just make sure that I also understand rest of the event also in my understanding. Then it's a truth. But if I don't know these guys at all, and I just say only, hey, I'm the father and he's my son, and that's all, there's nothing yet. Yes, I'm the father and Rishi is my son, Rina is my daughter. We are talking that way. But at the same time, I have to know I'm also all this, the personalities also remaining with me. So we have to know, as long as we know all these things residing within me, how can I be father and son? Multiplicity point of view. From son's perspective, I'm father. From father's perspective, I'm son. So multiplicity point of view. So as long as I understand multiplicity point of view, then that fact can be right. But if I don't know these guys at all and I take only this one, then it's not right according to Jainism. Means you have to have everything, you have to have total understanding that soul can be transient too, soul can be eternal also, and both the things you know, and then you make one thing as primary and secondary thing remains in your mind, back of your mind. I'm repeating so many things because this is really a great principle. It's a primary pillar for Jainism. That's why we are taking time. So now, having known that one, so now the partial points of views we are going to talk about. Partial point of view means one aspect of reality, whether it's from absolute point of view or conventional point of view. Absolute point of view means to consider the reality as it is. Means I'm the soul and I have knowledge attribute, right? I'm the soul and I have knowledge attribute. So that's an absolute reality. Conventional point of view, to know a thing by mixing up. For example, this is my phone. If I just say this is phone alone, this is phone alone, that's the right thing. But this is my phone, my phone means I'm knowing with mixing up means I put my ownership on it. And that's when it becomes conventional point of view. I'm carried means mixing up soul and matter. I am the soul and this body is matter, and both are together called kirit. So that's why this is called conventional point of view. I am the soul, that's called absolute point of view. I have the knowledge attribute is absolute point of view. So these are partial point of views will be coming. And now that we are talking this third dhala, it whole thing will go on absolute point of view and conventional point of view. And so it is kind of very, very deep thing that will be going, but again, we'll make it very easy to understand. And I have confidence that you all are very smart kids and you will know it very nicely. Next thing, let's see here. Okay, now with the same, this picture will come again and again and again. So don't get sick and tired of looking at this picture because that's very important. So from here, last time we said because if I have this line drawn here, for example, if I'm in the deluding state, then I go to deluding state by myself. But now I am over here and I am making sure that that point is not there and I have gone into my innate state. Deluding state means can sugar ever be sour in taste? You can say, uncle, are you nuts? Sugar is sweet, weird, that's it. So then I say, can the soul be in the deluding state? Uncle, are you not? Soul is in the innate state, period. Just like the sugar sweetness, soul and innate state, soul and knowledge, same thing. But then when I'm going to the deluding state, that is my own problem that I have created. Now that we understand that this line needs to be erased, this line needs to be taken out, and when it's taken out, that means whole circle has nothing, no nourishment, so it starts falling down, and now I am getting engrossed, and that's an experiencing of the self is a right faith, means samyak darshan. Last week we saw it, so you know it. What is samyak darshan? Soul remaining in its own innate state. Just like the sugar, always, 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 no matter where and when, it will give sweetness. Lemon, no matter where and when, it will give sour taste. Soul, no matter where he is always will be in an innate state. And that's a samyak darshan. That's a samyak darshan. Now, that's called absolute point of view. I am remaining in my innate state. That's an absolute point of view, period. That's it. That's fact, right? That's a fact. Sugar gives sweetness, is a fact. Salt gives salty taste, is a fact. Lemon gives sour taste, is a fact. Soul is in a innate state, is a fact. That's why I say absolute point of view. Now, in the same picture, I want to see conventional point of view. How can I bring that conventional point of view here? Before we go to the next slide, once again, soul going to innate state, that is called right faith, and that's called absolute point of view. Siddha Bhagwan, he's ever, ever, and ever, and ever in his innate state. Aryan Bhagwan means 24 Tirthankar, and the rest of the Aryan Bhagwan, they are always in their innate state. Monks, naked monks who have realized their soul, they are in their innate state. One who has obtained samyak darshan means experiencing the self, he is called in an innate state. Means absolute point of view. So let's say that you are all sitting, and today whatever reason, you all end up experiencing yourself. That means you are in the innate state. That means it's called absolute point of view. Is that clear to everybody? This is very important. So next slide will be easy to understand. Again, because I want to go a little slowly, because you need to digest and just digest it out. These are very important, serious thing we are talking. Any questions so far?
No.
Anybody else?
No.
Okay. All right. And if this question comes, interrupt anytime. Please don't worry about that. Okay. Okay. So now we know absolute point of view is going in the innate state. Now, same time, same next slide coming, that I'm not in a deluding state, and I experience myself. I'm in the innate state, but when this thing happens, when I go in the inner state, what else is happening on this slide that we can see? Something else is happening. What else is happening? Karma has stopped coming. They are not coming, right? They stop coming. So when I'm in the innate state, then karma stop coming. Previously, let me just go several slides. I think, let me just take this slide and slideshow out and go to one of the slide. Here. Yeah, from here. Okay. See what it was over here. That soul by itself, when the deluding state, means anger, deceit, ego, greed, likes, dislike, ignorance, etc. And innate state is a knowledge, and etc. So here, when the soul went in deluding state, then there was a fruition of karma standing on the other side, and then at the same time there is new start, new karma came to the soul and got bonded, and then it happened that way. So when I was in the when I'm in the deluding state, on one side there is fruition of karma, on the other side new karma comes and gets bonded with me. And this circle keeps on going forever and ever, because I am the feeder. I'm feeding this circle, so circle remains alive. But now that I'm becoming smart, I say, hey, this guy is a problem. So I take that line out. I take this line out, and when I take this line out, this circle has nothing, nobody's feeding. So new karma stop coming to the soul. New karma stop coming to the soul. So let's come back to that present slide that we are talking about it. Where is that slide? So here, when I'm in my innate state, then karma stops coming to the soul, right? This guy stop coming to the soul. There's no karma bondage occurring. Now I can take you back to several classes. Experiencing soul means beginning of purity. Experiencing of the soul means beginning of the purity. Beginning of purity is called what? If you can remember from before, we have gone through that slide with the soul is here, matter is here, and we just had several things that we talked several times, and we also took each other's exams, and you all were passing. So I just said, soul is beginning of purity. What does it mean? Can somebody tell me what it means, if you remember? Beginning of purity. Yes, what is it?
Topics? The
Okay,
so
beautiful. Very nice. Very Summer means beginning of purity. Remember, beginning of purity. And when beginning of purity occurred, what happened to the karma coming to the soul?
stops coming.
It
Stop
gets
coming. Remember?
Burned.
Burned. No burned right now. Means they are not present. Means stoppage. Means they stop coming to the soul. So stoppage means beginning of purity. That means karma stop coming to the soul. See, remember that slide you now you remember that so well in your mind. So now I can say two things on this slide. When beginning of purity occurs, when beginning of purity occurs, means samyak darshan occurs, means absolute point of view occurs, then on the other side, this guy, they stop coming to the soul. Both the things happen at the same time. Beginning of purity and karma stop coming to the soul. Beginning of purity and karma stop coming to the soul. What am I going to say? Beginning of purity is samvar, means bow samvar, side kick stoppage. Remember those words? And karma stop coming is a material stoppage, means dravya samvar. Do you remember that part? And if not, I'll go back again. So don't worry about that part. So what we are from previous slide that we used to say, we are trying to put it together over here on this slide. So two things happens. Yes.
I have a question.
Please.
So with like removing the line, would that be samyak darshan?
That's
Would
right.
that be samyak gyan too?
Samyak darshan. Remember, we have said 3 classes back. This is the say to experience the soul is samyak darshan, means I put this line and I divided these two guys. So when I'm experiencing this samyak darshan, when I am experiencing this one, then I say, you know what? I have no part of all these guys. They are away from me. They are not me.
Okay.
That's a samyak jnan, right knowledge. And then I get engrossed in this one. That's called samyak charitra, means a right conduct. Remember those 3 things we had gone together? Yes. So over here, 2 things are happening simultaneously. I am going in my innate state, means a bow somewhere, means beginning of purity, and at the same time, karma stop coming to me. That means that's a from karma perspective. So 2 things. So now, if I'm talking from, so now here, this guy, just to say karma stop coming to the soul is a conventional point of view. Over here in the previous slide, we saw it. Here, this is absolute point of view to talk from the soul's perspective. But to talk from karma perspective, karma stop coming to me, that's a conventional point of view. So absolute point of view, conventional point of view go hand in hand here. It depends how you look at it. 2 events happen. Actually, 1 event only happened. Second guy, I'm just going to tell you in a second what happened here. Purity starts and karma stops coming. So 2 things happen at the same time. Purity starts and karma stops coming. Purity starts, absolute point of view. Karma stop coming, conventional point of view. One quick example. This room is extremely dark right now. In pitch dark, and no light is coming from nowhere. So this room is full of darkness. I put the light on. What happened to darkness? What happened to darkness right now? Hello?
It goes away.
Yeah.
So did I touch the darkness? Did I do anything to the darkness?
No.
No, you just
It just went away by itself. It just didn't wait for it. As soon as the light came, darkness disappeared. I think I may have said that one. I talked this one to so many classes, so I don't know where I talked. But there was a one. This is kind of a example to make the point. Darkness put a lawsuit on the light, and now the judge is listening to this case. So judge tells darkness, "What's your problem? You put the allegation to the light. What's the problem?" "Well, sir, this light keeps on bothering me all the time." "No, light keeps on bothering me." "How long is bothering you?" "Sir, since time infinite." "Oh my God, that's a bad problem. He keeps on bothering you since time infinite." "Yes, sir." "Light, what's your problem?" Light says, "What?" This darkness says you're bothering him. "Sir, I've never seen the darkness." Light says, "I've never seen the darkness, so how can I bother him? I never know who is he." Because light says, "I never seen darkness in my entire career." So here, same thing. When the light comes, darkness disappears. Now it's your viewpoint, how you look at it. You can say darkness disappeared, darkness disappeared, darkness disappeared. Or you can say light occurred, light occurred, light occurred. What do you want to say? You both could be right, but what will be your viewpoint? You will see positive aspect. Light came, knowledge of light came, and ignorance of darkness disappeared. When purity came, karma bondage stopped coming. So what is more important, this guy or this guy? What's more important? Purity, beginning is more important.
Yeah.
To say that the karma stopped coming, you are not wrong. But why do you say negative statement? Because that means I have to think negativity. I'm going to say light came, about experiencing came, big purity started, and I start thinking positivity. And these guys, I'm no part of it. Your karma, your matter, you're not part of me, and you disappeared. What difference does it make? As long as I have purity started within me. During the day, let me give a quick example. When I was in New York, I was doing residency and in Brooklyn, New York, and we had one Iranian resident. He was my senior. So in the morning, we all come to hospital and everybody greets each other and just like, good morning, how are you, and this and that. Everybody says good, well, and everything, right? First thing in the morning, you're fresh and everything. I'll call this Dr. Shafi, good morning, how are you? You know what his answer will be? Not bad. Is it right answer or not answer? Not right answer, tell me. Is it right answer?
It's the same, but it sounds different based on what he said.
So that means his attitude. Not bad means he starts with a badness.
It's the perspective.
But then his perspective was from badness point of view. Oh, some bad will happen. Not bad right now. Not bad. Maybe bad thing will happen. But hey, good morning. How are you? Fine. If you say fine, whole day will be fine for you. Your positive thinking, you have it. So, do you want negative thinking or positive thinking? Do you want karma not coming to me somewhere, or purity beginning is somewhere? What kind of thought process you would like to have it? You tell me. Both the answer could be right in their own way, but what will be your mindset? It will tell me what's your mindset right now. When you say purity is generated, means your positivity in your life. Same event, we two people can see right now. Coronavirus event. You guys are, everybody's locked up in the house. Is it bad or good?
Bad.
Bad or good? It depends how you think about it.
Perspective.
Perspective. If you say, you know what? Yeah, I would like to be in the school, I would like to be in the playground, I would like to do this and that. But at the same time, it gives me a choice and chance that to stay at home, what can I do also? My granddaughters, they started learning cooking, for example. How will they learn ever cooking, for example, if they are on the school and this and that and activity and everything? So they are taking positive approach. I am locked up in the house, and what I'm doing right now, I study and study and study. It gives me solace. It gives me solitude. It just gives me oneness to myself. And so it's a great thing for me. So you got to take best out of situation that you have it. That's what you have to think in the life. Every situation you have to think it's a best thing. You know, I'm taking 10 minutes about, but give me one example quickly. Bill Clinton, he was an Arkansas governor for first term. And second term, he contested as a governor and he lost governorship. He lost the election. Think about it, you are the governor and now you lost that one. How bad will you feel? What he said to himself, okay, I lost this governorship because there is something better for me. I had to be a national stage. So he became president. So losing governorship, he just gives stepping stone for him to go to the presidency. Was it not right thing for him at the time? Now retrospectively we say, oh wow, that's the best thing happened to him. If he was governor, he'll be staying there for 4 more years, and then he'll say, yeah, I'm the best guy, whatever. So ambition. So same thing will happen in the life to you. Some of you want to go to such and such school only in college time. I would like to go to such and such college only. And if you don't get it, don't worry, because there is something else, is great thing is waiting for you. So those are the life's lesson over here. I have to have positive frame of mind all the time. No matter what happens, it happens for good. And find it out the goodness in whatever that thing happens. I'll give you homework for next 7 days. You just find it out your surrounding, your behavior with the parents, behavior with your friends, behavior with your colleagues and everything, and just find it out. Is there any negativity in your mind, or are you looking from positive perspective also? Keep thinking. That will be a great homework for you. I won't ask for the results. You do your own things and find it out, and how happy you are that way. Okay, I kept on going, so I just took more time. We started also 2-3 minutes late. So anyway, any questions so far? We'll stop over here. We have a lot more to talk next week. Anything? Any questions?
No.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'm very happy, at least you know that we are able to cover so many things. Okay, now Ethan, you want to do the Namo Mantra beta?
Sure.
Okay.
Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayaryanam, Namo Ujjayanam, Namo Loe Subasahunam, Eso Panchanamo Karo, Savapava Panasano, Mangalarancha Savesim, Paramanghoe Mangalam.
Jai Jinendra, everybody.
Hi, Jai Chandra.
Thank you very much. Bye. Okay.